Hidden deep within the Pine Barrens of New Jersey lies a legend older than the nation itself, a tale whispered through generations of a creature born from a curse, a beast they call the Jersey Devil. The Pine Barrens are a vast, ancient wilderness, 1 million acres of dense forest, sandy soil, and cedar swamps that seem to swallow sound and light. For centuries, this isolated landscape has guarded its secrets, but none are as dark or as enduring as the one that stalks its shadows. This is not just a ghost story told around a campfire. It's a mystery woven into the very fabric of American history, a curse that has haunted these woods for nearly 300 years. The story begins in the early 18th century, in a small, isolated village called Leeds Point. There, a woman known as Mother Leeds was said to have given birth to her 13th child, and with it, a curse. The year was 1735. The world was harsh, and life in the Pine Barrens was a daily struggle for survival. Mother Leeds, already burdened with 12 children, faced the prospect of another with a heavy heart. Exhausted by poverty and despair, she cried out in a moment of anguish, "Let this one be a devil!" Moments later, during the storm, the baby was born, perfectly human at first. But then, it changed. According to the legend, the midwife watched in horror as the child transformed. Its body elongated, its skin grew coarse and leathery, and bat-like wings sprouted from its back. A horse-like head with glowing red eyes emerged, and its legs became thin and goat-like, ending in cloven hooves. With a blood-curdling scream that drowned out the thunder, the creature thrashed wildly before flying up the chimney and vanishing into the dark, storm-swept woods. And from that night on, the people of New Jersey spoke in fear of what they called the Leeds Devil. Throughout the 1700s and 1800s, the creature's legend grew. It became a fixture of the local dread, a monster in the dark just beyond the firelight. Farmers would wake to find their livestock mysteriously dead in the morning, with tracks surrounding the pens that belonged to no known animal. Travelers swore they saw a winged figure gliding silently above the treetops at dusk. In an age where superstition ruled the countryside, every strange sound in the woods could be the devil himself. Some claim to have seen glowing red eyes staring from the darkness of the trees. Others heard a cry that chilled the blood, half animal, half human, a shriek that echoed for miles across the empty barrens. The tales were passed down from parent to child, evolving with each telling. Descriptions varied, but the core elements remained the same. The horse-like head, the leathery wings, the terrifying scream. By the 1800s, the legend had become an integral part of local folklore. A boogeyman to scare children, but also a genuine warning to those who dared to wander too deep into the Pine Barrens after dark. The Leeds Devil was no longer just a story, it was a presence. Then, in January 1909, the legend exploded into reality. What had been whispers in the woods for nearly 2 centuries erupted into a full-blown public panic. For one terrifying week, mass hysteria swept through the Delaware Valley, spanning New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Hundreds of reports flooded the newspapers. Witnesses from all walks of life, police officers, businessmen, and ordinary citizens claimed to see a creature flying over rooftops, scratching at windows, and leaving bizarre, unidentifiable tracks in the snow. The fear was contagious. The sightings were so numerous and so consistent that they couldn't be ignored. In Bristol, Pennsylvania, a police officer fired his revolver at the creature, but it flew away unscathed. In Camden, New Jersey, a trolley car full of passengers saw it. The press sensationalized every new account, with headlines screaming of the winged hoof and the flying death. Schools closed. Businesses locked their doors. Mills and factories shut down as workers refused to travel in the dark. Even local militias formed hunting parties, armed and determined, though none ever caught what they were looking for. Then, as suddenly as it began, the sighting stopped. When the panic finally subsided, the creature was gone. But the legend had taken root in the national consciousness forever. Over time, skeptics sought to explain the mystery. Could the Jersey Devil be a case of mistaken identity? Some have suggested the sightings were of a sandhill crane, a large bird with a distinctive call and an impressive wingspan that sometimes migrates through the region. Others proposed it was a large owl, or perhaps even escaped exotic pets from a local circus. Others believed it was simply mass hysteria, a product of fear, fueled by sensational headlines from competing newspapers. In 1909, the media landscape was ripe for such an event, and a good monster story sold papers. But deeper research revealed something more curious. The Leeds family, the very name tied to the legend, was once real. Daniel Leeds, a prominent surveyor and almanac publisher from colonial New Jersey, often conflicted with the dominant Quaker beliefs of the time. He included astrological symbols in his almanacs, which his Quaker neighbors deemed pagan. He was labeled a heretic, an agent of Satan, and his family's reputation was forever stained. And their family crest. It featured a wyvern, a dragon-like figure with wings and a serpentine tail. Eerily similar to the descriptions of the Jersey Devil. Was the monster a real creature? Or was it the result of a political and religious family feud? A smear campaign that evolved over centuries into folklore. Centuries later, the reports continue. The creature may have faded from the headlines, but it has never truly left the Pine Barrens. Campers still report hearing unearthly screams in the woods. Hunters find strange claw marks on trees that are too high for any local animal to reach. Drivers on lonely highways at night glimpse a dark figure darting across the road in their headlights, gone before they can get a clear look. To this day, no scientific proof has ever confirmed the creature's existence. There is no body, no definitive photograph, no DNA evidence. But that hasn't stopped believers, or storytellers. The Jersey Devil has become more than a myth. It's a symbol of New Jersey. It's mysterious past. It's the namesake for the state's professional hockey team. It's a tourist attraction, drawing curious visitors to the Pine Barrens hoping for a glimpse. It's a reminder that in a world increasingly explained by science, some corners still hold their shadows. Every legend carries a truth, not of monsters, but of people. The Jersey Devil may not be a creature of flesh and blood, but a reflection of the fear, guilt, and isolation that shaped early American life. It's a story born from the harshness of the wilderness, the darkness of superstition, and the power of a community's fear. The Leeds family story reminds us how myths can begin